So Charizard managed to almost win the biggest tournament that happened this week, the Pocket Mads Weekly. Shout out Pocket Mads. I'll put a link in the description how to sign up for these tournaments every single week. And again, before I show the deck list, for all of my deck list snatchers just here for it, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video. And if you want to help me boost the watch time, help the video keep going out, leave the video playing while you're importing this into Pokemon Pocket. But here's the deck list, and here's what they've done, right? So you guys know the Decidueye deck. The Decidueye deck is just 2 Decidueye, or 2 Rowlet, and then your 4 Decidueye, and either 1 or 2 Dartrix, and that usually takes care of everything. And you just kind of hope that you draw into your evolutions before your opponent is able to wipe your board, and that's how you kind of win, right? It's just like setting up the stage 2 and being able to keep it healthy with heals. Kind of the same thing with this deck. I will not lie to you. This is a high roll deck. Nothing has really changed with Charizard in that regard. It's just we've had to switch up how we can now play it. Also, shout out to the Magma team. They were the ones who brought this list to the tournament, and one of them was able to get to that number 2 spot, make it to finals with Charizard. So again, this is a high roll deck. Charizard has always been a high roll deck. The idea of Charizard has always been you try to set up this big boss Pokemon that your opponent cannot deal with because you are healing 60 from it, hopefully every turn, and you're spitting out 150 damage. Now, looking at the list, this list is just focused on giving yourself enough time to get that Charizard set up. The Cleffa is going to be able to pull Pokemon out of the deck, which is nice so you can evolve into Charizard, and it's also nice to get those cards out of the deck so you're not drawing into them, and you're drawing into your good stuff like Lily, Guzma, Mars. We have double Repel, Mars, and a red card. Like, we are just looking to annoy our opponent while we try to set this thing up. I do like the Guzma over the red in this list because obviously we know Suicune plays a giant cape, brings them up to 160. The Guzma is, I mean, they only play the one giant cape, right? If you play red over Guzma, well, now you are demanding. Did you see that? I don't know why this always happens when I'm recording. I don't know why this always happens while I'm recording. My opponent starts a baby Pokemon. The nice thing about the Charmander, too, you can get some free wins. Just more high roll. Opponent doesn't get a basic. I get to explode the Mantike, and that's it. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Suicune has 160. If you play Guzma over the red, as soon as you see the Suicune put down the giant cape, you know you can pretty safely just go Guzma, get rid of that. All right, now you're going to be one-shotting everything in their deck because they only play the one. Real quick, looking at this game. So we have obviously an Oricorio problem. I'm playing against Lightning. I don't know if this deck is going to have Oricorio or not, so I go for Mars turn 1 because they start Zeraora. I need to prevent my opponent from ever getting into double Oricorio, because the only way I have to deal with Oricorio is Charmeleon, which can kind of do the job a little bit, and I have double Repel. So as long as I can stop my opponent from getting into that double Oricorio board state, I should be okay. I should be fine. So here I'm going to Stoke in front of the Zeraora. I mean, not much else to do there. Wait for my opponent to do whatever they do. I'm feeling good because I have a Lily in hand. I can just laugh off the Zeraora damage, get back to full. And I'm also holding the Guzma for that giant cape. Now, this is tricky because I don't know how many giant capes this deck is playing. It's not as solved as, like, Suicune. And I'm debating the Repel here because I'm looking at this and I think, well, if I don't Repel and I leave my opponent with 2 attackers back-to-back, and like if next turn he goes into Arceus, swings for 130, I won't be able to Guzma and Lily in the same turn, and I really want to save that Guzma for when Arceus comes up. So I'm gonna Repel, see who my opponent brings up. If he brings up Arceus, boom, Guzma, knockout, good. If he brings up Zeraora, no big deal. I will just Guzma it next turn, and I should be fine. I mean, I have a 2-card hand. He's probably not gonna Mars me. It'd be an insane call, and he doesn't. So there we go. I get to just Guzma. That's another thing. You know, make sure you're holding that Guzma when it makes sense. If you have a big hand, it's probably better to just play it and risk your opponent having the second giant cape. Otherwise, you know, you gotta you want to hold it to try to avoid that second giant cape coming in. Now here we go, right? So we see Oricorio and a Greninja. It's almost definitely the Suicune with just one Oricorio. Some of them play two, but for the most part, if they're playing one, they probably just have the one Oricorio. So I'm going to go for the Ember on it to just start getting damage down, pressuring my opponent, letting them know, like, hey, this Oricorio, I know it's going to be a threat. And here, I'm debating if I play the research, because usually you don't want to, but I really want to find the Charmeleon. I really want to put the Charmeleon in front of my opponent and let them know I'm going to be swinging for 40 on this Oricorio, and you're going to have to deal with that. And now I'm looking, and my opponent benches a Suicune with an energy, so I can no longer do the Charmeleon route, and I don't see double Oricorio in play, so now it's Charizard time. I mean, you have to go Charizard just to not lose the game, but it's definitely Charizard time. So we evolve into Charizard and we Stoke, and this is a long game. There's not really much more commentary I can put over this game because it's just like me waiting for repels. That's kind of it. Now, my personal opinion on Charizard. How do I feel about it? I went on a win streak with it. I did. I got 8 wins in a row, and that was pretty good. I mean, again, it's a high roll deck. If it's working, it's going to work really well. If it's not, it just isn't. So I've never been a big fan of Charizard personally, but I want to show you guys the deck because it's something new. We kind of thought Charizard was dead, and it's, you know, it's another tool to add to your box of decks that you might want to play on ranked. And it's a very easy deck to play. I don't think that this deck has very many plays, and you see, like that. Suicune puts the cape on, I immediately answer with a Guzma. Get rid of that. I don't have to worry about cape anymore for the rest of the game. It's really not a deck that you think with, I'm going to be honest. It is a deck where you are putting this big, massive threat in front of your opponent, and you're telling them, hey, either your deck is equipped to deal with this Charizard, or you're going to have to play pretty well, even if it is in order to win. All I got to do is just not do something stupid, like throwing down this Charmander. Me throwing down this Charmander makes no sense. What I want to do is, all right, there's one Repel. I know I'm going to get a Froakie with it. He's not going to give me the Greninja or the Suicune. That's fine. Second Repel is likely going to be my opponent promoting the Greninja because any other Pokemon he promotes will cause him to lose. So now I'm just sitting here waiting for that other Repel. And when I have that Repel turn, I'm going to throw down the Charmander. And then just because I can, right? Like, I can put the Charmander down. And if I need to, I have 19 energy on a Charizard, by the way. I don't, has anyone ever seen that? I haven't. I'll put down the Charmander. And if I need to, I can hopefully get into a second Charizard. I'm using Lily here because I really just want to get my hand thin. Like, there's not much more for me to do in this game besides wait for Repel. And if my opponent disrupts my hand, I need to find that Repel pretty quickly because there will come a time when my opponent's constant Greninja pings are going to bring my Charizard down low enough that my opponent feels confident to come in and attack with Suicune and then, or attack with Greninja and then Suicune. So we just got to stay out of that range. Finally get my Repel. There it is. He's going to give me the Greninja. I'm going to throw down the Charmander, put an energy on it. Doesn't matter if the game doesn't go that far. Now, for the rest of this, if I'm correct, the rest of this is going to show you the other side of Charizard. Because now we're going to talk about the weaknesses of it. Oh, just kidding. This is another good game. Yeah, this is a good game against Dragonite. Not unwinnable. Not unwinnable. The big thing against Dragonite, Dragonite's going to hit for 180. So what you want to do is you want to hold the giant cape until you're about to stoke with the Charizard and your opponent's ready to attack with Dragonite. Like, whenever your opponent is about to get a Dragonite attack off, the Giant Cape needs to be on the Charizard. Otherwise, there's no point in setting up the Charizard. Like, don't do it. Because you don't want to give your opponent the opportunity to use Guzma if they have it. You ideally would love to send up Charizard, red card Mars, throw a cape on it, and just kind of chill. And say, all right, you got 3 cards left. 2 cards if they've taken a prize already, whatever, and then it's going to be less likely for them to draw into that one out, and then you can hopefully attack the Dragonite twice. Now what I did in this game though is he's got the Dratini with the energy on it. I know I can't let this slide. I can't let this Dratini build up in the active spot. If he had gone into Cleffa, I would have gone into the Charmander and just done my 30 attack, get my free point early, because I mean, my path to victory here is knock out a Dragonite and hopefully knock out a baby Pokemon. So I'm debating Twinkly Call, but I mean, I'm seeing this and I know I have to deal with this thing. I know I have to. I can't leave this Dratini building up energy in the active spot And there you go. Look, he's got the water energy coming next. So this 40 damage is very big as well, because unless the Dragonite has a giant cape of its own, 40 damage is enough that my Charizard will be able to knock it out in return. And then I don't have to attack twice into a Dragonite. I can't imagine that this matchup is very great. Well, I guess it depends. If you're able to get Charizard online quickly, it might be okay. I guess it's two stage 2s that both are trying to power themselves up. I mean, it can go one way or the other. And then I'm going to Stoke in front of this Dragonair. I know that this means that my opponent probably has a Dragonite. He's got 5 cards in hand going into his turn. I'm fairly certain there's a Dragonite here, but I throw that giant cape down, and it's just sort of, all right, hope you don't have it. If you don't have a heal, even better for me. This deck usually doesn't play heals, as far as I know. Maybe it plays like a Lily. The lists are kind of all over the place. Some of them play Lily, some of them don't. And with that, I can just go Lily. There was no heal. There was no giant cape. I can just go Lily and then Steam Artillery. My opponent has nothing, and he concedes. Now we're getting into the bad decks, or the bad matchups, the bad games where we lose. So let's talk about the weaknesses. High roll deck, man. It's when I first tried this deck, just to be honest with you, I lost 3 games in a row, and then I won 8. So, like, it's just kind of how it is. Sometimes you're on a roll with it. I am net on the day with it. This will probably be the last time I play the Charizard deck. Again, just to be totally transparent with you, I've never liked Charizard because I don't like taking auto losses to Oricorio. I'm trying all I can here. I mean, I explode the Pichu. You know, my opponent started with a full bench with a Pikachu EX. So, it's just, you know, does he have it? And then he uses Silver. And guess what he does next? He benches the 3rd Pokemon. What was the point of that, dude? Get a job. Get a job. McDonald's is hiring. Yeah. I don't like taking the auto losses, and I don't usually like high rolls, because again, my favorite decks are not the ones where I put the ball in my opponent's court and say, you got to play better than me, or hope I dead draw. That's not what I like. That's not what I like. Or sorry, you have to just play the game well. I don't have any say in really what happens besides did I draw my evolution piece fast enough. Yeah, it's not something I'm looking forward to. And the Cleffa, I'm like torn on the Cleffa, to be honest, because I had quite a few games where I start Cleffa and just look at my hand. If I had started Charmander with this hand, I would be good, but because I started Cleffa, didn't get Charmander, had to Twinkly call for it, I'm now in a horrible spot. Look at this. I Mars my opponent into double Pokeball and Repel. Like, what? What? That's the thing. You're playing a high roll deck. Hey, other decks can high roll too. So not only are you like, there's so much that can go wrong. There's so much that can go wrong. And then from there, I don't top deck second Charmander. The game's over. The game's just completely over. Because my Cleffa would just die next turn. Poor guy. So sorry about that. Sorry, Cleffa. I didn't let you die like that. All right, I'm a good guy. Now this does make me think to kind of go off of this deck, because again, the weaknesses are, I mean, it's gonna get red carded. It's gonna not draw when it needs to. It's a high roll deck. I don't know how many times I can say that. It's a high roll deck. Play this deck if you want to. If you want to try to high roll. That's about it. Do I think it has any relevancy in the meta? I mean, it got second. I went on an 8-win streak in the top 1,000. Yeah, it can win games. Yeah, Charizard can still win games, especially with this build where you're not loading your bench. That's really the big thing, especially with Suicune. Like, you can't do what I'm doing here and bench double Charmander. As soon as you bench double Charmander, you're in a lot of trouble. And especially if you have to put a Cleffa down. Now, what I probably should have done is... But then again, I have no guarantee of finding Charizard next turn. But as soon as you do this with your bench against Suicune, you've effectively lost. I lost the game on this turn. I know it doesn't say defeat, but I lost the game on this turn because you just have to have one Charizard. That's it. So we can't play the Sylveon version anymore. So it's inherently less consistent. Now, what I was saying before I went off on that little tangent is this makes me worry when Mega Evolutions come out. It does make me worry a little bit because we're getting that Mega Blaziken, which is effectively just Charizard with 30 more HP. I believe it has 210 HP. It does, and it can attack faster. It does 120 damage for 2 fire energy. is going to burn the opponent, so they're going to take 20 damage, so you're doing 140. That's not too different than Charizard's 150. For everything, you know, we know in the meta, at least that's around now, unless something drastically changes and everything's bad and now 140 is actually a really bad number. That's just a Guzma away from knocking out a Suicune. That's just a red away from knocking out a Suicune. That is a my opponent not healing their Suicune, not retreating it to the bench, and getting knocked out by burn potentially. Like, I might not, they might just get knocked out coming back into my turn. And then I get to swing for 120 on something else because nothing's one-shotting the Blaziken that we know of yet. So I'm a little bit worried by these megas. Not all of them, like the other ones that they've revealed, I'm a little iffy on, but the Blaziken looks ridiculous. Charizard's already decent enough. It's held back by the fact that it has to go Stoke, right? That's the biggest setback with Charizard, because if you don't set Charizard up fast enough and you have to use that one turn where you're stoking in the active spot, that's not good. That's not good at all. Blaziken, it's not going to matter. You just need 2 energy on it, and it's attacking. That's it. You just need 2 energy. That is so easy to do. Blaziken's going to be a real problem when that deck comes out. It's Solgaleo with a built-in red with 40 more HP. It's Charizard with 30 more HP. It's like, it's such a ridiculous seeming card that I'm kind of concerned with where megas are going to go. So that's going to be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think about the upcoming megas. Do you think it's going to be a good change? I'm not sure. I'm very excited to play them, but I am a little bit worried. The Blaziken does seem a little bit overpowered. Like, you play the Charizard and just imagine if my Charizard had 30 more HP and I didn't have to use Stoke. What are we doing, dude? What are we doing? All right, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you on the next one.